Good morning, beautiful people. This is Joel McElhaney coming to you live. Today, we're going to talk about 5 things that you want to look at or be aware of that have an effect on the real estate market. So grab your coffees and let's talk about what's going on in the world and what sort of things are affecting the price of houses, supply and demand, and all that sort of fun stuff. That's some good coffee today. All right, the 5 things we want to consider that are happening in the market that we need to be aware of when we're buying a house are these: the employment rates, the interest rate, the inflation rate, consumer confidence, and population growth. So let's talk about where we stand with all of these factors as of now. So employment. So the St. John employment rate was 5.2% as of May of this year, which was down 0.3% from the previous month. So employment rates are low. That is typically a sign that our economy is doing well, that we're very employed in this area, which sort of helps the market. As employment decreases, the ability to buy homes increases. The interest rate, that is important as well. So I always talk about the Bank of Canada overnight lending rate, because that rate sets the tone for all of our loans. It really directly affects variable rate mortgages. Fixed rate mortgages aren't as tied to this number, they're more tied to what's going on in the bond market. But the overnight lending rate is a good economic indicator to tell us where we stand. And that was just raised 25 basis points, which puts us at an overnight lending rate of 4.75. To give you some perspective, that's the highest it's been since 2001, and it is expected to increase. The Bank of Canada is aggressively raising the overnight interest rate to try to calm down the economy and inflation. So that brings me to my next point. Inflation is currently at 4.4% as of April of this year. And it's down from 4.5% in the previous month. So the Bank of Canada would really like to see that at 2 to 3%. So we still have to decrease that, or the Bank of Canada is still trying to decrease that to stabilize the economy. The next one, the 4th one, would be consumer confidence. And when surveyed, consumers in this area were somewhat reluctant to make major purchases like homes or cars. So consumer confidence is historically low, and that's as of June of this year. So that does have an effect as well. I think the consumer confidence is some of the reasons related to why we don't have much inventory, because what we're seeing is people that have existing homes that are thinking of upgrading or right sizing. So maybe they've raised their family in a larger home and now they'd like something smaller, or vice versa. That's a difficult place to be as a seller right now, because you have to sell at home and buy something else. It's really hard to buy in competition when you have an existing home to sell. So those folks are finding it challenging. There are ways around this, and that's why you need a realtor, because there's definitely strategies that really work to help you in that situation. So if that's you, give me a call. I'd be happy to discuss, but that's another whole video. The 5th thing is population growth. So the net increase of population was 5,240 people in New Brunswick in the 4th quarter of last year. That is an increase of 36.5% from Q4 2021, from the previous year. So that is really driving it as well. That's why we're seeing another one, I didn't put this in here, but it's just coming to mind, is vacancy rates for rentals as well. Very low. So with increased population, that increases the demand on our housing, and of course we're at a very low supply. So all of these things are driving the current market, keeping prices elevated. The year-to-date average price is $291,000, and the median price, the median would just be taking out the extreme high and low. that's $275,000. So that's where we stand currently in the market. Hopefully you found that helpful, and I'll be back here next week with more updates. Keep being awesome, people, and have a good day.